dive into some more Olympics. Who's ready for some Olympic talk?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. I've been ensconced in some Olympics, it feels like.
Ensconced. Okay, so I know what you're talking about. And I know that I've had the NBC tuned in, and I seen some swimming and a steeplechase. How about you?
I watched that steeplechase. I think that's the first time I've ever watched it. I mean, I knew it existed, but I was a little surprised. I also heard Snoop Dogg giving commentary. Did you guys hear that? And he was talking about the guy who jumped off of the
top?
The top. What is it called? What is that thing?
The hurdle.
Called?
The hurdle bar. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, there's 18 barriers and 5 water jumps.
Yeah, so the guy jumped off the top of the barrier, and he's like, "You can do that?" No, it was.
Yeah,
I like some Snoop Dogg commentary. It's good stuff. I forgot about it.
I mean, you jump off the top of that thing, and they still land in the water. It's like you almost can't clear it. Half a foot definitely is going to hit that water.
Yeah, I will say I don't know the rules to steeplechase, and did you pick up on the rules? Like, how do you win? Is it points? Or is it timing, just like any other race?
I'm pretty sure it's just timing. You just have to be the first one to cross.
Okay.
Actually, the women, 3 of them set personal best in the steeplechase. And Valerie Constein had the meet record this past
nice.
Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, out there in Eugene. Liz, speaking of records, you said you were ensconced. Did you see anything else?
Well, I did go. I mean, we're holding the swim trials here in Indianapolis. They were pretty cool, really amazing. I was very impressed with Lucas Oil, and they did it up for them. Lights, camera, action, smile. But I did witness a world record, so that was really awesome. I got to see the backstroke. Reagan Smith set the world record in my face. And that was really cool. I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen a world record in person before.
So that was in June. You saw a world record in Lucas Oil, and then back in, was it March?
Okay. See,
April, what did you see?
Because I was like, I've never seen a world record. I've never seen one. I'm like thinking about, have I ever? And then I was like, oh yeah, we saw, help me with his name.
I'm not going to remember his name, but it was at the NFL Combine, and he ran a 4.2140. Is that correct?
The fastest 40 time ever. Also at Lucas Oils. I guess if you go to a lot of sporting events, you're going to eventually see a lot of records.
Record being ensconced. That's how you got to do it.
So I'm excited, though. Now we've got even less time, about a month till the Olympics start.
About a month to go, and we'll have our eyes on Paris. The last time we talked about badminton, field hockey, and trampoline. I mean, I'm still excited about the trampoline. Ever since then, the kids have been up and down the street seeking out trampolines. But I understand you're going to talk to us about shot put and discus. So what do you got?
So the women's discus, we got Valerie Alleman. She set a meet record, 70.89 meters on her toss. How many feet is that, roughly?
70 times 3, roughly. So 210?
28, maybe? Something like that.
Okay, when we're watching the Olympics, we're going to have to pull out our calculators every time there's an event, because I don't know these meters.
Well, I was just looking it up earlier, and I asked Alexa to figure it out for me. She did. It was no problem.
Nice.
But so that's pretty cool. And then the men, Reggie Yeagers, he threw at 65.52. So I'm wondering if they use a heavier disc.
What was the other number? The women's record there? Or
70.89. So she was 5 feet farther.
So she threw it further than the guy. Interesting.
Maybe
that
she
make
did
sense?
better.
And maybe it is a heavier disc. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Let's write that down in the let's find out category.
Okay. So meter. I don't know. So something I wanted to bring up is that, so I'm watching the trials for the running, I'm watching the swim trials. I see all these people that win, but you can win your event at the trial and still not actually make the Olympics. So I'm finding this to be rather kind of confusing, because I also think, and I'm going to give you some critique, NBC, that they're not doing a great job of explaining how you make the Olympics, who makes it, like keeping us abreast of who's who, whether it's in the pool or running. They could do a little better with the labels.
Is the event that I'm watching the last event to make it, or might there be something else next weekend? Like it's travel ball and there's always an event. I don't know. And then, right. Liz, to your point on the swimming, I was watching swimming. It was down the street at Lucas Oil, but I'm watching it. And they mentioned, a guy's from Carmel and someone else is from Lafayette. And I'm like, oh, sweet. And then they line up and they jump in their lanes, and they're just 8 bodies in 8 lanes. And you don't know who's who. You don't know the route for lane 3 or 7 or what. And then they win and they go, yay, Tommy. And then that's all you know. And it's like,
right. Like while they're swimming, they need to have their names in the lane. They can totally do it. I think at the Olympics, they do put like, okay, Japan, USA, China. Mm-hmm. They label it, but not till pretty much the very end. So I don't know if they think it's obstructing our view or something, but they could just do a little bit better.
The swimming purists don't want to see that in there,
There you go. That's like
could be.
That's like watching hockey on Fox back in 1989 with the blue puck follower.
Yeah, then you knew where the puck was. It was brilliant. Now the hockey purists don't like it.
Yeah, so I don't know. To me, it could be a little bit better. Maybe not the full name, but maybe like flash it up there periodically and take it away for the purists. I don't know.
Liz, on site, did they have somebody commentating for you in the stadium, or did you just?
They did. They absolutely did. And I will say it was a little, I think it was easier to tell who was in what lane at the actual, in the stadium, because they have this huge television above the pool and it has their names on there at all times and what lane they're in. So from that standpoint, you could see it, but like on TV, you couldn't see that. So it was definitely easier. And there was someone, and he did a good job, I will say, of saying the world record is, 7.95. And as she was going, he's like, we could do it. We could do it. I mean, he was hyped. He was screaming it. And we're like, oh gosh. I mean, the crowd went totally wild. It was.
So they had the play-by-play guy on the PA.
Yes, on the PA, they had the play-by-play guy.
I feel like other sports could maybe dabble into that a little bit, right?
Yes.
For instance, picture you're at the Colts game and you're listening to the PA guy. I mean, it's just the bland 1st and 10 Colts. It's not the play-by-play situation.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I would take that. I would take that as a definite feedback, or try it out at a football game or
somewhere.
Anywhere.
All right, Jeff, what about the shot put?
So shot put was exciting. Chase Jackson won the women. She threw it 65 feet, 11 inches. Well, so that's 20.1 meters. Which is still 2 feet short of the world record. So that's pretty amazing that our American best is still 2 foot off the world record. But we had 3 ladies in there that did really well. The men's shot put, we have the world record holder in Ryan Crozier. He has the world record at 23.56 meters. But at the Olympic trials, he only went 22.84. So just under a foot less.
He's saving it. I got to ask you a question. You said 65.11 for the women's. Was it reported in feet and inches, or did you already convert for us?
I converted it for you.
Yes.
Well, Alexa did.
All right.
Alexa, thank you, Alexa.
So I got a question, though. All right, steeplechase is pretty cool, but what's your favorite track and field event to watch?
Oof, that's hard.
I'll go first. I think I like the high jump.
The high jump is cool. Like they jump backwards and they're like very bendable.
The history of that high jump technique is kind of interesting. I always find it like to be amazing that that's the highest way that you could jump as an individual is jumping and then arching backwards. Like no one's going to try the same thing but going forward or just something.
Yeah.
To me, it's 100-meter, like hands down. And I know it's fast and I know it's over so quick, but that's what I want to see.
Well, why not the 200 then? The 200 has
the 200 is very hype. The 400 is hype. And the 4x100, all of those go like they're very close. Yes. But I just think, that title of world's fastest human goes to the 100-meter, and it's impressive to see every time. And somehow they break the record like every other Olympics. So we'll see.
Well, that's not true. What's the 100-meter women's record, and who holds it?
Well, I'm going to guess that is Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
That is Flo Jo.
Wait a minute. Flo Jo?
Jackie or is it Flo Jo?
Oh, no, it's Flo Jo, Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
No, they're sister-in-laws.
Griffith Joyner.
Okay, I knew it was one
of those. That was an extremely exciting Olympics. It was either, 88 or 92, and she dominated.
Right, so Florence Griffith Joyner is Flo Jo.
Yes.
And Jackie Joyner-Kersee is Jackie.
That's correct.
That is correct. Speaking of Jackie, we're going to talk a little bit about her in a minute. Jackie Joyner-Kersee holds the record for long jump. So Jackie holds the record for long jump. She set that in 1988, and her record is 24 feet 3 1/4 inches.
That would have been long enough for the Indiana State Finals this year, I believe.
Yeah, yes, indeed. She would have beat all the boys. But she's holding that, and I don't know, people are like not coming close either. This year, and this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about these rules. So Tara, this was a very exciting long jump. So I'll say that I really enjoy long jump. I don't know if it's my favorite one to watch, but now that I understand it a lot better because I've been watching it for the last couple of years, this long jump was super exciting. Tara Davis Moore, she is the winner in the long jump. She jumped 22 feet 11 inches, which is actually 7 meters. But so look at that. She's like just about 1.5 feet behind Jackie still. So that's hard to come up to. But in the finals, she scratched twice. So her first 2 jumps, you get 3 to move on to the finals. She scratched on the first 2. So she almost didn't make it at all. And then she, on her 3rd jump, she was able to jump far enough to make it to the finals and then came out to win. So that was a really exciting long jump competition the other day in Oregon. And in 2nd place was Jasmine Moore, and she is also going for the triple jump. So the triple jump is also pretty crazy to watch. Have you guys ever watched that?
That should be up there with one of the best. I blew that.
The triple jump,
it's very different.
It's very different. There's so much impact on the knee when you see them go for that, like the one, the second one, that 3rd land and launch. It just seems like maybe something you don't want to try unless you've got expert advice. I just see me going out any jump.
Yeah, and it's just so much technique. Like it's kind of a bizarro thing. So if you've never watched it before, the first time you watch it, comparing it to long jump is just so different. And a lot of long jumpers do that triple jump as well, but it's I would think it'd be pretty hard to kind of separate the two. So you have to.
Yeah, you know who the best was at both as a combination? Mike Connolly. 2-time Olympic triple jump medalist. silver in 84, and he got that gold in 92. And then he was that triple jumper. Man, triple jump in 87. I think he won in the World Outdoor Championships and not in the Olympics. But Mike Conley, remember him? His son played basketball at Ohio State and also in the NBA.
Yeah.
This is going to be off topic a little bit, but I remember him in a dunk competition that, dunk competitions actually used to be fun. And they had like all-stars from multiple sports. I think it might have been him and Ken Griffey Jr. and like a boxer was on there. And anyways, Mike Connolly could dunk. Imagine that, the long jumper from the free throw line.
I love it.
I'm looking something up. So speaking of the high jump, you said that Jeb was one of your favorites. This is where it gets a little wild. Okay, so in the finals of the high jump, Charity Huffnagel of Rushville, Indiana. She actually went to Ball State. She now goes to the University of Kentucky. She won her very first ever USA track and field title for the high jump with her personal best of 6'4" and 25 inches. And she won, but she did not necessarily make the Olympics because they have a standard of 6'5" and 50 inches. So although she absolutely won the track and field trials, she still doesn't know if she's going to make it because she didn't jump as high as what the Olympics say you should jump. So there's a couple people in this situation in high jump. And so they're waiting essentially to see, they're going to then compare all the records from all the countries to decide if she'll be able to go or not.
So I see what you're saying there. I see something here where there are 5 girls that all reach the 6 foot high mark, which is 1.83 meters, right?
Yep.
So 5 of them tied?
So they didn't necessarily tie. They just didn't make the.
They made that bar and not the next bar. They made that
bar, but not the next bar. So there was. Well, because some of them jumped a little higher, but none of them jumped as high enough to meet the Olympic standard. So, but it was like super confusing when I'm trying to like figure this out because a lot of articles are like, she made the Olympics because she won. And I think that that's what everyone would automatically think. You won, you're going. But that's not the case. And that's actually true in the men's high jump as well. I feel like I'm very okay with this. Like, just because you win a U.S. event and you're the best here doesn't mean you should go to the Olympics if there's 98 other countries have jumped higher than you. You just happen to be the best of the worst. Right? Like, they got to have some level.
But if you win your event in the U.S. trials, weren't you going over and signing the Eiffel Tower?
Right, so that's where I
would think that, yes, but you could end up being wrong.
You sign the Eiffel Tower, you're in the Olympics.
Well, I think that they like want us to think that they make it. Like, I mean, I think it's like all for pomp and circumstance is what I'm starting to think. And that probably a lot of those people we saw at the swimming, like, they won, they're going, but they're not necessarily going. And that is what is a little misleading, I would say. So if you don't meet the standard,
maybe you crack the code on why they're not doing such a great job of tracking it, because it's very difficult because you got over 300 countries and you got to wait on all the data to come in.
Right. So I mean, I get why they would say, okay, you made it, yay, and we got to have some excitement here, but there's a definite chance that they didn't make it. Now, I think a lot of these, as long as they hit the standard, then they did. They absolutely made it. It just so happens to be that in the high jump, the winner did not meet the standard. So that's why I'm saying it's kind of confusing.
It's just like if I was a track and field coach and I was your high jump coach, I would just tell you to jump higher. I don't know what else to tell you. Jump higher.
You need to jump higher. Yeah. Well, and then they were saying this because she had her event, I think it was the 26th or 27th of June, and they were like, okay, well, she didn't make it, but she has until the 30th, like 3 days, to go out, find another event where she could go jump and jump high enough.
All right, now we're gonna go off the beaten path a little. Another event. So, like, let's just say she went to Broad Ripple Middle School and had an official there and measured her jump 7'10". Would that not count because it's not an official event? Like, say you had 100 people there to verify.
Right. I'm sure it's got to be like an official sanctioned USA track and field event. But yeah, so it could be a Broad Ripple with their trampoline type turf.
And the reason why I ask is because I know that Liz was at the state finals and they had sometimes you had to wait on a person, or there's like say the long jump. It's like, you're not measuring me against him. You're measuring me against my measurement. So I should be able to jump at 9 a.m. when I show up, and this guy can jump at 6 p.m. and you'll have the two numbers. You'll know who jumped longer. Like, so for some of the events, it doesn't make any sense that it's track and field is structured the way it is. If it's a measured thing, you know what my measuring it.
Talking measurements, let me start our trivia question with a rules question.
Talking metrics or what?
Well, a little bit. Pace. All right. So I'm going to quiz you. It's a 3,000 meter steeplechase race. How many barriers do they have to jump over, and how many of them have water?
Okay.
So in a 3,000 meter steeplechase race, how many barriers do you think they jump over?
Hold on. 15.
3,000 meters.
So that's like 8 laps, correct?
3,000 divided by 400 sounds right, roughly. Well, so we're going to get into that. Let's just
I'm going with
I did 1,500 as close to 1,600, so that would be 4 times 2 is 8. And I think that you're going to go around and hit that water 8 times. And then total, does it include the water hurdle as well?
So there's barriers, there's barriers, and then there's water.
my goodness.
I'm going 8.
I've already lost track.
I'll go. So 3 times 8, 24 barriers and 8 water.
I think it's probably something like that. In terms of the ratio, I like your ratio.
Yeah, that's a very good ratio.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with 25 and 7, just to be different.
All right, so it's 28 barriers. So
okay.
I like very good, and there's 7 water jumps.
Oh,
the reason being, so if you're the 3,000 meter steeplechase, you never go the full 400 because you have to go through the middle for the water.
okay.
So
Interesting.
instead, so the course is never a perfect 400 meters. Instead, the water jump is placed inside the turn, shortening the lap, or the outside turn, lengthening the lap.
Kind of like a figure 8.
Sort of.
I never noticed that it wasn't on the regular track, and I'm like, where did they get this dip from? But it makes sense. It's not on the regular track.
So when the water jumps inside, the 3,000 meter start line is on the back stretch. When the water jump is on the outside, the 300 meter start line is on the home stretch. So they got to compensate for the distance.
That is trivia that I would not have known, and I just watched it, and I still didn't know.
But you made a very educated guess. That was very impressive.
That was a very educated.
Very impressive.
It's that whole metrics, man.
I do want to give a shout out to the high jumper. This is the male high jumper who he's in the same situation as the girl high jumper in terms of he didn't quite make the standard. So Shelby McCune in high jump. So, but they were interviewing him, and he said the same thing as me. It's a little confusing how you know if you made it or not. But they were giving him big props because he goes to a small school. And forgive me because I don't remember what it was, but he goes to a small college, and they don't have a track and field. He goes and practices at the local high school. So he's still getting it done. He's still, look at him. He doesn't even have a track and field in his backyard to go practice at. He's going to the local high school to practice. And still, he's just a couple inches away. So we're hoping he's going to make it.
That is dedication, and I'd like to circle back on that. But while we're giving shout-outs, I will give a shout-out to the running sensation Quincy Wilson, who you may have heard is a 16-year-old who's going to the Olympics. And he's going to be running in the 4x400 relay. I mean,
it's pretty wild to watch him run because he is a lot smaller than these other guys, these full-grown men.
Yeah.
And he's fast. He's a fast little dude.
If
he doesn't get a medal this year, he'll be probably tearing up some records in 4 years from now.
He's a rising junior in high school in Maryland, and he's going to Olympics. So just imagine this kid in 4 years when he's 20. He's gonna be setting records. Hope he stays healthy.
4 years, 1 month. We got the United States Olympics, right?
There you go.
LA. We're gonna go see Quincy break some records in LA.
Check you out, Quincy.
I'm going to swim practice this morning, and so he has no chance now.
You miss one, and you're done. That's what I was going to talk about. Dedication. I want to ask you all, what do you feel? Look, track and the running. Everybody has access to run track pretty much from elementary school. And I'm not saying you're going to be Olympic level, but you can do it. Some of these other sports, like, I don't know, trampoline, field hockey, some of the
obscure
ski jumping, never had the opportunity. What do you think about this concept? There's going to be those people who, for whatever reason, when they're 2, they're set in a room and they're told you're going to be an Olympic weightlifter, and then they work on it and they're awesome. What time frame and where can we put people who are like, they're athletes, they're like 15, they're 13, and you're like, you're awesome at basketball, but what you need to do is go try badminton real quick, and we want to watch you, because our pool of people in some of these sports has to be like 10.
Yeah.
So you're saying, where can we get some more people because we're not pushing some of these obscure sports enough? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. And like, how do you get level the opportunity to be in one of these things that first of all, we didn't even know some of these were Olympic sports, and there's some people on the team. Like, so how come the most athletic guy down here on the basketball team doesn't know that he could have tried out for something? Just try, and then
just try. I do think that that's how a lot of people end up in these. They just happen to go play pickleball or whatever and they're like, dang, I'm good at this. So then when you're naturally good at something, you're going to just keep doing it.
Enjoy it.
I mean, what age do you age yourself out of having a chance to be in the 2,000 meter race walk?
I think
I don't know, but I'm walking every day. I could probably do it. I don't like the hop. I saw someone get past in the last 50 yards in that. I don't know. It was on.
That's got to be disappointing. Well, I will like to end this by telling you that I got to meet Jackie Joyner-Kersee, speaking of being ensconced in the Olympics, and I got to ask her a question. And so I asked her,
where did you meet her? On a Teams call or something?
I met her on a call for work. Yeah, so not in person. I didn't get to shake her hand, but she came to our call for work, a little motivational speech for our team, and we got to ask her some questions. I asked her, how do you deal with change when you're going through, for instance, going from high school to college, going from college to the Olympics? That is a very stressful situation. And how did you deal with that? And so her answer, and my answer to all of you, is to essentially be yourself, know who you are, know your limits, and really you have to just own who you are. And if you can do that, then you can do anything.
I like it.
Good advice.
She had good answer that maybe one day we'll get her on. We'll get
her on the show. Own it and just do it. Wear some Nikes and dominate.
And continue to dominate, and then just go. I think she was out there in Oregon when she was on our call, so she was there at the field, like
nice,
waiting, just taunting people because she's like, "You're never gonna break my record."
All right, so what Olympic sport is everyone trying to go to in 4 years?
I would definitely love to go to the track and field. I would definitely love to watch, like Bill said. I mean, to watch a fastest men alive, women alive would be pretty awesome. But I would also, since we're gonna be there, might as well see some surfing.
Surfing would be really cool. I failed to mention this earlier, but what I've heard is that since we've proven that you can put a pool inside of Lucas Oil, that they've already decided they're going to put it inside the Rams stadium, which might be Levi's, I don't know, whatever their stadium is, SoFi Stadium.
Oh wow,
and that's pretty cool. That
they're going to break Indianapolis's record,
right? I mean,
yeah.
We set it and set it up for them to knock it down, but that's fine. I mean, it'll be the Olympics. I'm sure they'll break the record. But
yeah, probably. That's okay. We'll steal it.
Will
back.
they have the track and field at the Coliseum?
That's what I'm thinking. It's got to be.
Because if you could go to the Olympics in the Coliseum and watch track and field, I think that might be the
done deal. Yeah,
that would be very cool.
I'm in.
That would be awesome.
All right.
All right. Well, good job, guys.
Settled on the field.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.